What's up YouTube? Mike and Brandon here with Texas Duck Outfitters, and today we're doing a decoy review video over the Dakota flockhead mallards. We're going to be going over the positives and negatives of the decoys, and then some tips on transportation and storage to keep these decoys looking nice.
Pros for the Dakota Mallard decoys is that they're extremely realistic. One time we had a hen land right into our decoys, right in the middle of them, and we completely lost sight of her. She looked indistinguishable between the other decoys. So they're extremely realistic looking. The paint lasts very well on the bodies. The drake heads though, they're not as good. They do chip, but for the pros, the paint's really good on the bodies, and you're actually able to get the unflocked heads. So that's a really good, nice thing that Dakota does for us. But another pro is that they're larger size, so they're more noticeable for really high flying birds or birds that are flying really far away and you really need to catch their attention. All right, so another thing is that the keels on these things are really nice. They're really sturdy, and these decoys get a lot of action in lower wind situations. Obviously, if you have extremely little wind, they're not going to move a whole lot. That's just how that works. But if there's much wind at all, these things will definitely be moving around, circling, and all that. So those are some of the pros.
All right guys, so some negatives on the Dakota decoys. To start off with, the flocked heads, they do chip, and if you have loose weights like this, and depending on how you're storing them, they can chip and you'll get just big old black spots on the decoy heads, and they're very noticeable, and you tend not to throw those decoys. That's really the biggest con, is the flocked heads. Like Brandon mentioned just a minute ago, you can get the unflocked heads that are painted and they'll hold up well. But another thing is too, is that the material that they're made with on the bottom, if you're hunting a big lake and you have high wind and big waves, we noticed that with the Dakotas, there was still a light clacking noise from the water hitting the bottom of the decoy, and it just doesn't sound realistic. So it's not as bad as if you're hunting over game winner decoys, where it's literally like a thud that's completely distinguishable, but it's just something that could flare late season ducks that are already wary, as well as having chipped heads and missing paint on the head. One other thing too is that I know the Magnum bodies are a great size and a great asset to high flying ducks, but low flying ducks, sometimes they almost look too big. So it's something to think about when you're looking for a Magnum body. You know, you don't want something so excessive it just exceeds reality. You want something that is going to be a good medium between, like, okay, maybe these are just a little bit bigger ducks, to realistic, instead of, hey, look at this giant duck here, and then look at this real duck that's half the size. So that's something to think about, and that all really varies on where you're hunting from. You know, we typically see down here in Texas some of the bigger mallards, versus maybe up north you're getting some younger ducks, and they're not really matching the size. They might not be fully mature. So it's just something to think about. Alright guys, so one thing that I hit on about transportation is slotted decoy bags. It's a must, especially for the drakes. Like I said, on the cons, the chipped heads, if you have them in a backpack style bag where they're all thrown in together, the heads are just gonna chip and crack, and it's gonna look bad. So you have to have a slotted decoy bag. And with a slotted decoy bag, not only do your decoys become a little heavier because they're more dispersed, it's also more bulky to transport, and it limits where you can take them. For example, when we go hunt, depending on where we're hunting, if we have to walk 1.5 miles into the woods, well, guess what? The Dakotas aren't coming with us because it's inconvenience to our setup time. So they're great if you have private land a boat, if you use four-wheelers to get down to wherever you're going. But if you have to carry them a long way, or you don't have the money for a slotted decoy bag that's going to fit all the Dakotas in there, save your money, save your time, and buy something that you're going to be able to use on your hunts. Don't buy something that's going to be a limited option for you. Invest smart. Alright, so one thing I want to talk about, guys, as well, is that it also depends on what type of rigging system you have for your weights. One thing that would reduce the amount of scratching that your decoy receives while in a slotted bag or in a backpack style bag is if you have the weights with the bungee cords that start from like weight to bungee that's about 6.5 inches long, and then to normal anchor line like this, where you can pull it tight and it has a hook style weight where it sits in on the decoy, and it's not going to be loose and clacking around. It's going to sit nice and tight up against the decoy, and then you just have your decoy moving in the bag, or it's stationary in a slotted bag.
Alright, thanks so much for watching the video. I hope this review really helps you guys when you guys go to make your next purchase, and if you're deciding on whether or not you should buy them. Alright, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out and we really appreciate it. And make sure you check out our Instagram for a lot of really cool pictures of our duck hunts. Alright, I hope you guys have a really great day. We'll see you guys next time.